Well, they'll be brought in on August the 22nd, and they'll affect national security goods, electronic goods already. These are goods which are already under licence when they're exported from Russia to the US, but from now on there'll be a presumption of a ban. And that could affect goods. We're told up to hundreds of millions of dollars of goods that are exported. A US official has said tonight that upwards of 50% of goods which have a licence with the Commerce Department include at least one national security good. There are a few exceptions, but we're told up to $100 million of goods. There is also a clause in this law which means that after 90 days, more draconian sanctions can be brought in if they're not vetoed by President Trump. That could be anything from downgrading diplomatic relations or a blanket ban on Russian oil exports to the US. Things that could have a really serious effect on the Russian economy could be brought in after 90 days if Russia doesn't comply with the US sanctions, and that means giving reliable assurances that they won't use chemical weapons again in the future and allowing UN inspections, both of which perhaps may be unlikely.
And any official response from Russia?
Not yet. This has all happened very late at night here in Russia. It's now early in the morning. I think we will get a response from the Russian authorities, from the Kremlin, within the next few hours, or perhaps later on this morning. We do know that the Kremlin were notified about this earlier today. We've heard that from the US side. And we're also waiting to hear from President Trump himself, because, of course, this seems to run slightly counter to what President Trump has been trying to improve relations between the US and Russia over the last few weeks. In fact, of course, meeting President Putin in Helsinki just a few weeks ago. The Republican Senator Rand Paul is in Russia at the moment, and he said just a few hours ago that he had hand-delivered a letter to the Putin administration from President Trump calling for further engagement. And then just a few hours later, this announcement from the State Department, under pressure from the Congress, announcing further sanctions on top of the many sanctions that there are already for other aspects of Russian behaviour. But this is the first time that that the US, or the strongest terms that the US has really confirmed that they believe that Russia was behind that attack in Salisbury using Novichok back in